were to pick 3 books, what would they be?
Let's pick 3 that are quite long and will keep you occupied. I've never read The Brothers Karamazov, a long Russian novel with lots of bad behavior in it, so I understand. And books with bad behavior are always comforting because the things they do in them are usually worse than what you've done.
Yeah, I can see myself.
Yeah, very good.
If you've not read David Sedaris before, then Me Talk Pretty One Day is just amazing. It's funny enough to extract anyone, albeit briefly, from the current crisis.
Well, I think you couldn't go far wrong with Philip Roth's novel Nemesis, which is one of his little-known books, I think, but it describes a pandemic of polio in Newark in the 1950s, and it is an astonishing book. It's very, very short, but incredibly powerful.
I've chosen a classic, Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. She was one of the first writers in world literature to write from a black female perspective.
I suppose we could do it again, but let's hope to get it right.
I think Pepys is great for now because he obviously survived and talks about a lot of intense stuff that went on in the 1660s. So Fire of London, the Plague, all those dramatic events, which I think, history I find very comforting.
Right, classic. How about The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole?
I have a project of listening to, on Audible, the Icelandic poet Svanur Thorkelson doing 8 hours of Beowulf.
Beowulf.
My second choice is Rainbow Milk, which is a novel by a British writer called Paul Mendes. It's about a young man who escapes a very repressive religious community and finds a life for himself in London and becomes a sex worker.
Books that I really love are the short stories by Amy Bloom, and whenever I sort of reread them, I must have read them about 5 or 6 times, and I find huge comfort in the kind of repetition of rereading.
I'm a great Elton John fan. We saw him live last year, and every paragraph in that book contains some incredibly honest account of a scandal.
Cooking with Ferne Branca by James Hamilton Patterson. It's about this English snob living in Tuscany. He knocks back constantly this awful drink called Ferne Branca.
My final choice is Red Carpets and Other Banana Skins by Rupert Everett. His memoir, published quite a long time ago now, is extremely candid, self-lacerating in a sense, all about his younger life. He was obviously so wild.
I've also been reading some murder mysteries, always comforting because there's a solution at the end.
Almost always there's a solution.